Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Monday, January 10th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a quick little recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate, and then going over my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings. But without further ado, we'll get into yesterday's picks, see how they turned out. So in the point guard position, we had Tyus Jones, $4,200. Looking for 21 points at him. He looked very good if Ja Morant wasn't playing. Ja Morant did end up playing, so that was just kind of unfortunate for us. A decent amount of my lineups, I was able to switch off Ben McLemore, who's my boy. I do play quite a bit when he's actually in play, so if you were able to do something similar to that, probably panned out pretty well. If you were able to get to anybody else, probably looked a little bit better yesterday. But he played 16 minutes. Ja Morant obviously played. He had 17.75 points, so he was a miss yesterday. Then at shooting guard, we had Anthony Simons. Switched off of him from Tyrese Halliburton. $6,200, looking for 31 points on him. He got to 45.25, so he was a hit. Garrett Temple at small forward, $3,400, looking for 17 points on him. He got to 22.75, so he was a hit. Chuma Okeke at that power forward position was one of the initial pivots yesterday. $4,300, looking for 22 points on him. He got to 31.5, so he was a hit. And then last but not least at center, Brandon Clark. $4,700, looking for 24 points on him. He got to 23.25, so I did give him a push yesterday. Since ideally we'd be like to have him around that 23.5 points, but definitely somebody that did not hurt your team overall yesterday. Then on the FanDuel side with Jalen Brunson, $5,300, looking for 27 points on him. Luka did end up playing in this game. Jalen Brunson still started alongside him, so I wasn't too concerned at this price tag. 29.8 points. He was a hit yesterday. Then at shooting guard had Darius Garland at $8,000, looking for 40 points at him. He ended up with 16.4. It was a really, really bad night for him yesterday. A mess. He still played 33 minutes. Just didn't do a whole heck of a lot. Shot the ball 3 for 12 from the field, and Rajon Rondo played a bunch of minutes alongside him. So just not the best game for him overall yesterday. And then in small forward, we had Brandon Ingram at $8,000, looking for 40 points on him. He got to 33. He was a miss. Just wasn't quite as good as we had hoped for yesterday. Then at power forward, we had Brandon Clark once again, $5,400. So we're looking for 27 points. Ended up with 25.1. He was a miss. He only ended up playing 16 minutes in this game, but very effective overall. If you had a little bit extra money and you were able to go up to Jaren Jackson for Brandon Clark like I was able to do in some of my lineups, would have turned out pretty well yesterday. And then last but not least, we have Joseph Nurkic, $7,300, looking for 37 points on him. He got to 50.7, so he was a hit yesterday. So a little bit of a hit or miss day overall yesterday. Unfortunately, some of those news and injury updates that we were waiting on, like De'Aaron Fox, Ja Morant, Luka, we kind of got most of those at the last minute. So it was a little bit difficult to pivot for some of these guys. But with that being said, we'll get moved over into the injuries in play for tonight's slate. So once again, this is a 7-game slate, 7 o'clock start time, and 2 games tipping off right at 7 o'clock. So for the Utah Jazz, we have Fitz, Rudy Gay, Rudy Gobert, Elijah Hughes, and Joe Ingles all out once again. So no major changes there. Obviously, Rudy Gay is the newest one since he had played in the last game, but now on the COVID list. So Eric Paschall probably taking up some of his minutes. Maybe he gets up to 20 minutes tonight. We'll just have to see. Then for the Detroit Pistons, they're without Kelly Olynyk, Isaiah Livers, Frank Jackson, Jeremy Grant. So pretty much the same that we've been looking at. They did trade for Bol yesterday. We'll see if he's able to play today or not. And then moving over to the Milwaukee Bucks, they're without Grayson Allen, George Hill, Drew Holiday, and Brook Lopez once again. Pat Connaughton is questionable to play, and they do get Dante DiVincenzo back tonight. So we'll see if DiVincenzo makes his way into that starting lineup or if he's just coming off the bench once again. For the Charlotte Hornets, they're just without Vernon Carey once again, so no changes there. For the Pacers, we have Justin Anderson, TJ McConnell, TJ Warren, all this is out. Torrey Craig, Isaiah Jackson, both listed as questionable. Then Karis LeVert, Malcolm Brogdon, and Goga Batazzi, all this is game time decisions. We'll see if some of these guys are back tonight or not. Then the Boston Celtics are without Peyton Pritchard, and Broderick Thomas is probable to play tonight, even though he's probably not in the rotation either way. Moving down to the San Antonio Spurs, they're without Zach Collins, Keldon Johnson, Trey Jones, Devin Vassell, Derek White, and Thaddeus Young. So essentially what we saw yesterday, Doug McDermott's questionable, so we'll see if he plays or not. Obviously, if he does end up playing, he's probably in that starting lineup once again. For the New York Knicks, they're without Derrick Rose and Ryan Arcidiacono. And then Evan Fournier, Nerlens Noel, and Kemba Walker, all this is questionable, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that throughout the day. And I think it'll be very interesting, too, if Kemba Walker is back today, if he starts or if Alex Burks still starts and Kemba comes off the bench. So that'll definitely be something to watch out for. Then for the Philadelphia 76ers, they're without Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, Paul Reed, Ben Simmons, and Jaden Springer once again, so no major changes there. For the Houston Rockets, we got Sengun and Wall out once again. Quinn is questionable to play today. Garoba and Brooks, both listed as game time decisions. We'll see if they're able to play tonight or not. Then for the Brooklyn Nets, they're without Joe Harris, and then LaMarcus Aldridge is questionable. So the only change here is they're on the road, so Kyrie Irving is able to play in this game. Then for the Portland Trailblazers, they're without Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Larry Nance, and Norman Powell. So Norman Powell was the newest one yesterday. But overall, just the same starting lineup that we were looking at yesterday. The Cavaliers are just without Isaac Okoro. The Kings are without Damon Jones. And then Mo Harkless is questionable. Rashawn Holmes has a chance to play tonight. We'll just have to see if he's back or not. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play. Obviously, I'll be listing all the injury updates, starting lineups, and COVID news throughout the day down in the comments, so definitely be sure you're checking that out as well. But with that being said, we'll get moving over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Anthony Simons, $6,400, looking for 32 points out. Currently having projected for 33, 34 points tonight. Going to be one of the main ball handlers, one of the main point scorers for this team once again, so definitely has a ton of upside. Then at shooting guard, we have my boy, Ben McLemore. He is $3,300, looking for 16, 17 points out. Obviously, he started last night, so I do expect him to start once again. Oddly enough, he didn't play a lot of minutes in the second half. Part of that might have been due to the blowout. Maybe they're saving him a little bit for the back-to-back as well. But still had a respectable performance nonetheless. I currently have him projected for about 19, 20 points on the DraftKings side tonight. Then at small forward, we're going to go with Lonnie Walker. Coming off a very good game for the Spurs yesterday, he is $4,200, looking for 21 points out of him. If he's in that starting lineup once again, looking pretty good. Currently have him projected for about 22, 23 points on tonight's slate. Then at power forward, we're going to go with Jayshawn Tate. This is a pick that definitely could change throughout the day. Just kind of the guy that stuck out the most at the power forward position, I'll say. He's $5,200, pretty cheap price tag there. 26 points is what we're looking for out of him. Averaging almost 27 on the season. Have him projected for 27 points once again tonight. And then last but not least, at the center position, we have Joseph Nurkic. He is $7,000, looking for 35 points out of him. Currently have him projected for 38 points, but he's been on a tear lately, so he definitely has an upside for a lot more than that as well. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do have listed here, you'll have $23,900 remaining. Just under $8,000 per player, so maybe you can pay up for one stuff. That's something you want to do, and then plug in a couple of value plays alongside them. Or you can take a little bit more balanced approach. Definitely could be in play once again today. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there. So at the point guard position, I'm going with Tyrese Haliburton. There wasn't really a point guard that stood out to me today, so we're going to go with Haliburton. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox ended up playing last night with his shoulder injury, so that affected Haliburton a little bit. Still had a pretty solid, respectable game as well. But we're looking for 34 points out. I'm currently having projected for 36 points tonight. Then at shooting guard, we're going to go back to Ben McLemore, $3,900, looking for 19, 20 points out. I'm having currently projected for 20 points on the FanDuel side tonight. Then at small forward, we're going with Harrison Barnes. Just a dirt cheap price tag at $5,000. Yes, he's been kind of up and down so far this season, but you're looking for 25 points out of him. He's averaging 28 on the season, and I have him projected for 26 points tonight. Then at power forward, we got Bobby Portis, $6,000, looking for 30 points out of him. Still too cheap of a price tag, especially what he's been doing recently. So averaging almost 32 points on the season. Currently have him projected for 32, 33 points tonight. Then last but not least, at the center position, could have gone back to Joseph Nurkic once again here today. He's definitely in play. But we went with a little bit cheaper option. It's Mr. Old Reliable Jakob Poeltl, $6,100, looking for 30, 31 points out. Averaging close to 32 on the season. Currently having projected for about 32 points tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side, you'll have $32,200 remaining. Just over $8,000 per player. Definitely could probably pay up for 2 studs on tonight's slate and then plug in some cheaper guys as well. Or even just 1 stud and then kind of spread out the wealth from there as well. Definitely a lot of options that you can take on tonight's slate. Should be a very interesting slate overall. But with that being said, these are my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, January 10th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. Or if you want to talk a little bit of Super Draft, we can do that as well. JC Money Design and myself will be going live for the Super Draft slate a little bit after 5 o'clock tonight. And that'll be streaming on his channel as well. So definitely be sure to check that out. I'll try to leave a link down in the comments below as well for that. So if you're into Super Draft at all, you're into DFS on Super Draft, if you're brand new to Super Draft and you want to learn some more, definitely check that out. And then last but not least, I'll be listing all the injury updates, starting lineups, and COVID news throughout the day. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you with your fantasy football teams. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special little shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.